Hello everyone, Saturday, July the 16th. What a beautiful day on which Our Lady of Mount Carmel, falls this year. It's on a Saturday, Our Lady's Day, and it's Our Lady's Feast Day, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So I really encourage you, if you're listening to this, if you don't have a scapular, to be enrolled in the scapular. Ask your priest to enroll you in the scapular. Hopefully he will, joyfully. The scapular is, I don't have time to go into this, but the scapular is a powerful protection. It's actually the main devotion other than the rosary that was indirectly promoted by the Second Vatican Council in the document on the sacred liturgy. Kind of have to go to footnotes to find that, but it's there. Or the references anyway, somehow it can be found that the rosary and the scapular are the prime sort of devotions that were spoken of indirectly by, or were being referred to by the council. The prophet Micah. The Lord spoke to all the people these words: Alas for those who divide wickedness and evil deeds in their beds. When the morning dawns, they perform it, because it is in their power. They covet fields and seize them, houses and take them away. They oppress householder and house, people and their inheritance. So you see, the so-called minor prophets, Micah is one of the minor prophets, what they really went after the people for, because God was directing them, is what we would call matters of social justice. And this is part of the teaching of the church, that we are called to be just and social justice. In other words, treat people according to the norms of justice, which means in this case, like these people with their twisted machinations were stealing land. We're ripping the people off. And God doesn't take lightly to this. These people are going to undergo God's wrath and his punishment. Again, it's corrective. It's meant to bring them to conversion as well. But this is what's going on. And these people somehow they behave in such a way that they think there is no God. And the hypocrisy is that frequently they will do this, and then they will go, what we was putting it into our own language, they will rip people off, treat them unjustly, and then they'll go to Mass, if they go to Mass at all, thinking that they're doing fine, because they're not seriously examining their conscience. They're not measuring their behavior against God's will, against the teaching of the church, against the norms of propriety, and so on. And it could be a whole host of things, in this regard. And this is what God is constantly calling his people to be just, to be fair. Okay, that's Micah the prophet. Over to the gospel. St. Matthew, we're in chapter 12 now. The Pharisees went out and conspired against Jesus, how to destroy him. When Jesus became aware of it, he departed. Many crowds followed him, and he cured all of them. And he ordered them not to make him known. This was to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Here is my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, with whom my soul is well pleased. So basically here, on the one hand, the authorities are seeking to murder Jesus. And when he says he departed, we must never think that Jesus is frightened of them. He has no fear, as we would experience it, of their machinations. At some point, he will allow them to take him into custody. It's not as if his human nature didn't experience a repugnance at suffering, but Jesus didn't have that paralyzing fear, which would then lead him to back away from his Father's will. But this was only because it was in accord with his Father that he not be taken captive by them at that moment. So in other words, things only happen to Jesus when he permits it. Right? He's not a victim of circumstances. He is a true victim that will offer himself in sacrifice to the Father for you and for me. Jesus is never a victim of circumstances. You and I sometimes feel that way, but we need to, reflect on this. We can avoid a lot of trouble in our life if we actually stay close to Christ. And the trouble that we can't avoid, that just comes at us, trusting that Jesus will at least protect us through it, if not from it, is so important. So, and still, these people are trying to kill him, and our Lord is still thinking about the good of others. He's curing all of these people who are coming to him. And that's the way Jesus is. He doesn't think, as we would say, he doesn't think of himself, but he's always thinking of you and of me and our good. He's always seeking to heal us. And again, there's no other deity that does this in the pantheons of old. Only the God of Israel, Jesus Christ loves us in this way, that he's always thinking of your good and he's thinking of my good. Remember again on this day, July the 16th, or even a few days after you will listen to this, really try to get enrolled in the scapular. It's a very important and powerful devotion. And of course, if you do this, live the spirituality that is the scapular. Stay very close to Our Lady. God bless you.